The pod system is the easiest way to scale your agency. Before I was using the normal like structure where it's like you have different departments. As soon as I switched to the pod system, I feel like deadlines were like kind of gone essentially. I knew exactly what team I needed for what amount of clients. So if I wanted 20 clients, I knew, okay, this is the exact team I needed. So it made everything way, way, way more clearer. And it also just increased collaboration and like results of the agency because we could put the pods against each other. We could reward pods who are just like displaying core values. And like I think we implemented at 50K. Now we're at 275, and I can see the path to 400 and 500K just because of the pod system. And it was one little change that me and my partner, we kept procrastinating it. We were like, hey, we know we need to do it, but we just kept not doing it. But then as soon as we did it, bang, results happen, right? So this is how to kind of implement it and just kind of give you an oversight of how it actually works, right? So this is the old system. Old system is that you have one person in charge, maybe like yourself. Then you have one team. For us, let's say we're a creative agency, it was a scripting people. So the copywriters, the creative strategists, they were all in one team. Then we had one set of team of editors. Then we had one set of team of account managers, right? And it was like step 1, step 2, step 3. And the main problem with that is there was no collaboration. And even some weeks the script writers were full and other weeks the editors were full, and I was like, man, have I overhired? Do I need to get into the script writer? And everything became so confusing. And if I was asked the question, hey, how many clients can you take? I would be like, damn, I don't even know how many clients I could take. It just like, that just seemed a myth to me. But then we implemented the pod system essentially like 20 weeks ago. And the pod system looks like this, right? You know exactly how many people are needed for the X brand. So you know how many Y are needed for X, right? So what team do I need to facilitate 5 brands? And someone said to me once that it's easier to scale a company with a small set of like groups rather than just one group. And that hit me on the head. I was like, damn, that's so true. And we've done it ever since, and it's just worked. So for us, we have one copywriter, 2 video editors, 1 assistant, 1 head of talent, and 1 account manager inside each pod. This head of talent is actually done per 2 pods because we worked at the bandwidth, and it's just doable, and it just really, really works. So the way to do this is, number 1, work out expectations. I know that the copywriter can take 5 brands, 2 video editors can take 5 brands, an assistant can really take 10 brands if stretched, but 5 brands on a really good day. The head of talent can take 10 brands, that's why they're stretched. Account manager, we've seen 5 be the limit. So I'm like, okay, cool. If these guys' limit in a monthly basis is 5, why not put them in one set? And that's one set, and you guys are responsible for 5 brands, and you guys will only be responsible for those 5 brands, right? Second guys, exact same group, 1 copywriter, 2 video editors, 1 assistant, same head of talent, and 1 AM. Okay, you are responsible for another 5 set of brands, right? And then the third one is exactly the same, right? Same people, same team, different people, if that makes sense. Or same roles, different people, right? And these guys now can take a total of 15 brands, and the team is a lot more scalable, right? And a few kind of benefits that have come from this is collaboration. Number 1, right, is beforehand the different departments weren't really talking to each other, but now departments aren't really a thing. It's like, okay, we're all a team and we're all going for the same result. So for us, it's better ads, right? Beforehand it was like the script writer, hey, let me just write the best scripts, or let me do the best edits, or the editing team. But now it's like, okay, cool, we're all a team, how can we do the best? And another kind of benefit is we have core values. I think, oh, core values, gay. It's not, right? It's like, it's actually really, really solid. And we can reward the pod who have, like, say, for example, a core value of ours is third door thinking. We can value third door thinking because we do something called pod of the week. So if a pod has good results, they've got good core values, they get rewarded from a weekly bonus, and other pods can then take upon that, like, oh damn, you know what, they want pod of the week, I want pod of the week next week, because humans, we're naturally competitive. I want pod of the week next week, let me also show these core values, let me also increase my results. And as a result, guess what happens? Your agency grows because people are working together, people are competing against each other, and they just want to do better. And if they want to do better, guess what happens? You actually do better as an agency, right? So that's the pod system. What you need to do is work out expectations, how much can each team member take, and then you just need to essentially do it and stick to it. One mistake I made beforehand with the pod system is I was like, okay, cool, 5 brands, but this guy would be really good, so maybe let me have Ella also jump in on this. And then you know what, that's exactly right, Ella can collaborate with Jonah in pod 1, and then you know what, pod 2, I'll just give him less of a brand. And people were kind of going to different pods, so someone in pod 3 would be working on a pod 1 brand. And that at the start is the worst thing you can do. It is so messy. Avoid that at all costs. You can do that 6 months down the line, but when you're setting the expectations and setting the guidelines, this is like it's awful. It is really, really, really bad. Like, because then the pod systems won't be obeyed, and it will just be a whole mess, right? So do that. Second thing that you should do is get a P&L statement of each pod. You want to measure, you want to scale the business in those kind of sets, like small subset of companies, right? So pod 1 is like its own company, pod 2 is its own company, not legally obviously, but on the spreadsheet, right? And then you can work out what is a P&L, how much is this pod making you, how much is this pod costing you, and you can imagine how much easier it is to do that for 5 brands than it is for like 45 brands, right? Because you can do it with the same amount of like what got you from 0 to 1, you can do that and apply it in this manner, if that makes sense. I'm not sure if I'm waffling there, but yeah, pod system, best thing that we ever did. Love it. If you're struggling as an agency with deadlines, it's just the best way to go, and even collaboration and like core values, it's the best way to go. I actually don't know how I'd scale the agency without that. I guess maybe it would be easy if you like set down the expectations, but when you have a pod system and 10 people equal 5 brands, or 6 people equal 5 brands equals X money, it's clear. It's so clear. So if you're struggling, implement the pod system. Best thing we did. I'm not sure if I explained it that well in this video, but if you have any questions, let me know and I'll answer them in the comments. So implement the pod system.